Ralph.
Hello, thank you very much. As he said, my name is Ralph. I'm Ralph Drake. Uh, I'm not sure what it's, well, I guess I'll start from way back. Since now 67, it was like I was underage when I first started. Um, I really didn't have DJ experience, but I love music. So we would go, when I say we, um, Brian introduced me to Richard at the Onyx, and they were using a jukebox. So after a couple of weeks, somehow Brian mentioned to Richard that I liked playing music, and I got a chance to start playing down there. The hang up per se was that I was using my own so-called equipment. So I would take it down there, set it up, take it home, and so it got to the point where I just kind of left most of it down there. At that time, not being known, I purchased all my music myself. Even when I tried to reach out to record labels to get promotions, they would send me stuff that I couldn't use. So it was most basically me buying my own music, trying to listen to it to see if it would work, and then use it down there at the place called the Onyx. Um, when I say underage, I think I was like 17 or so, because I was still in high school. Um, and when I graduated, I started working. So I was working and doing the Onyx at night. And it was kind of like almost every night, which was really a hassle, me being by myself or the only person. So um, I don't know how long ago before, I think it moved twice and the name didn't change until it moved, when I say it, I mean the place, on Olive, and then it became the Zebra Lounge.
Correct.
Richard Pruitt was the owner, and Brian, he won't mind, Brian Young, because he's a caterer business. Um, he's about the longest friend I've had, and he's still around. So he introduced me to Richard. Richard gave me the chance down there. Um, and for a long time, I was the only person playing music. So let's see. It took a couple of years for me to convince Richard to invest in some type of equipment where I wouldn't have to bring my stuff all the time. So that's when it became the Zebra Lounge. I remember us taking a trip up to Chicago to see how clubs were there and what he might get to enhance me and the place musically. Um, it was interesting, people, a lot of people were underage coming in there and nobody knew it, so it worked out pretty well. Let's see. At the Zebra, when it became the Zebra, uh, again, it was so much for me doing it every day. So I decided uh, that we would have another person. And I don't know if I should be mentioning names, but I did go out and found someone that would maybe take 2 or 3 of the nights instead of me being there all night. So that's pretty much how it started. I do take pride in thinking and knowing that I was the original person. I would think
DJ.
the original DJ there, and the only, the original, the only, for a long time. Um, then afterwards, other people came. Um, I forgot what year I left, uh, but that's pretty much my story. It's been uh,
So now, tell us the difference between the the atmosphere of the Onyx room
mhm.
and the atmosphere of the
The Zebra
Zebra
Lounge.
from your standpoint.
The Onyx was smaller. like a lounge type of place. Um, how is it different from when it became a zebra? The zebra was a little larger. Um, excuse me. It was, the weekends, I guess, were the best times because it would be packed. But the thing when it became the zebra, because I was way in the back and the lounge part was up front, a lot of times I couldn't see how many people were there, whether it was packed or not. And I would be playing music and I noticed that the dance floor was like empty. So when I go get my drink and I would go up there to Miss Edie, wonderful person, and then I would see all these people and I said, well, no wonder they're not doing nothing. I'm playing music like nobody's there until I go up and see that it's packed. And so I have to change, you know, my genre and the way I was doing things. And then I would see the dance floor pick up. And so I said, well, I have to realize that though I can't see, I need to play as if it was packed. So that was interesting. I never forget, we would have to go through the bathroom to come up to the little DJ booth. And it was a lot of things going on in the bathroom. Of course, it was the bathroom.
Oh, talk about that.
But talk about that. That's where they would go and smoke weed.
Okay.
So I think when you are out, you kind of see who is a customer and who is authority, if that makes sense. So a lot of times when the place would get raided, it was because people were smoking in the bathroom. And when I say the authority, I mean police, undercover police. They'd be dressed just like we were. They would just be standing there. And you know, you can tell who's not part of the crowd. And so later on, there would be raids, and the people that were in the bathroom smoking were the ones that got arrested and things like that. So that was an interesting part of the place. Let's see, I think where I was, if you went towards the back, there were pool tables and things like that. So I'm pretty much a quiet, shy type of guy. So I kind of kept to myself, did my music, got in there, got out. Probably a lot of people know me. I don't know a lot of people. What else can I say about that?
But talk about the raids though, because like you said, I know you said that about the about smoking weed. So how was it an often thing? Do you think that that bar was probably targeted?
I believe it was probably targeted because of the clientele.
Because it was a gay bar.
Gay bar, and it was a black gay bar. So I can remember at least 3 raids in my time, and it was just so interesting. Things would be going nicely, everybody having a good time, and then all of a sudden, you know, everything, they would tell me to stop the music, and those that they saw in the bathroom, you know, they would go get them and escort them out. So it was interesting in that, you know, people do what they do, but you should be able to tell, you know, when someone's about to go down or if somebody is not there. So doesn't belong there per se. So I made it a habit when I had to go get my drink, had to come down, go to the bathroom and out. So that was what I would do. Come down to the bathroom, go get my drink and come back up and get back into the booth. So I was lucky that they didn't think that I was one of those that was doing the smoking. So what else was happening down there? Not many fights actually that I can remember. Everybody got along. The idea was to come and have a good time and get out of there. I had a song that I would play because it got so difficult to get people out when it was time to go. My last song was always slow, and it was South Shore Commission. I'll never forget it. Before You Go. So when everybody's heard that, they knew it was time to go. They started getting their dates or whatever, and the last string, and it made it easier to clear the place out. Let's see.
Then the party would start on the sidewalk.
Party would start on the sidewalk or outside. That's right. And then they would go to the east side. So.
Now, did you ever go to the east side?
Oh, I went. So I would. Yeah, I love Faces. That would be the place I'd go because I like the music. And then they would have the shows. I don't remember shows honestly at the Zebra. I was gone before that. So that's why I'm kind of not in that circle.
Because the show started years later.
Yeah, and I was long gone. So a lot of times people know me from that were in the shows, but I don't know them because they weren't going on at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It was fun actually. It was really fun because I love playing music.
So those times that was during I guess the times from disco into house. Now how did that transition? Because I know disco were you there when the disco was?
Mm-hmm. To me, disco is just another name for house, in my opinion, because it's music to dance to. Probably nowadays, house has more of a dynamic type of rhythm. If I were to describe disco between house, like when you hear what's called house now, it just makes you want to move per se. And disco is like, okay, that's my song, let's dance. But house is like, it to me it's the same. So it's kind of hard to describe it. I just think now they call it house instead of disco.
So now how you compared to, so let's talk about like the gay boy, especially like the Zebra and the Onyx room.
Mm-hmm.
And the sense of, because one of the things, this is a question I ask quite a few people, and that's the sense of community in the black gay bar is
Mm-hmm.
something that you think is because there's a difference between today and back then, and
Mm-hmm.
not just because of times.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that has something to do with it, that the Zebra gave us a sense of our own home?
I would say yeah, because being at that time the only place to go at that time, it was like a big family. Everybody knew everybody, and actually everybody took up for everybody.
That's right, because you couldn't, nobody from the outside would dare come in and walk and try to start something and walk out.
Right, because they got a whole bar of people to deal with.
The bar would empty out on them.
That's right. But what I'm glad of is that there's an effort to commemorate, remember the things of the past, and hopefully make those people, events, activities come back around. I wish I had money. I would invest in a place, because that's one of my dreams. But another one of my dreams is to get back into DJing. So I'm kind of working on that, but I'll keep it a secret because it may or may not come to pass.
I think the secret's out.
Well, if it's out, I am working on it. I'm trying to get things together, um, and you'll be one of the first to know.
Well, thank you, because you know I like to kick my heels up.
Yes, sir.
I am a dance floor person.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coming up, like before DJing and in your personal life, if you care to share that, and if you
Coming up for me back then, it was. Do I want everyone to know my business? If you know what I'm saying, um, because truthfully speaking, having a label then was much harder than having a label, if I can say it that way now. Um, so I try to keep my nightlife, if I can say it that way, different from my day life. Um, that's just me. Some people don't care. I shouldn't say don't care. It's just the way that you're made. I cherish, I guess, my privacy. I guess I want to be known that if there's something going on, I can be called upon to make it happen. And at the same time, you don't need to say, well, he's this and that, if that makes sense. Um, so for me, being so young, I try to keep my music speaking for me, if that makes sense. I even when I was DJing, it was music. You didn't hear me talking or announcing things unless there was something going on. It was music, just music. Um, but I think in today's world, I'm trying to work on maybe if I need to say something. But when I watch people on streaming, um, they tend to talk, and I'm just a music person. I like the music to be my forte, if that makes sense.
do you feel that you are part of a legendary of a legend?
I would like to think so, and I would say I would like to think those would like to think so because um, sometimes I say if it wasn't for me, what would have happened? Because in the beginning, there was no DJ down there. And actually, in the beginning, I can't think of a place where people went that had a DJ. So I really think that I was instrumental in putting the Onyx Zebra on the map. And for that, I thank you for this opportunity, because some people don't even know who I am. They don't, and that's life. But if this goes to the younger generation and they just see me out, they say, "Oh, I saw you. I remember your," and I'm going to say, "Yeah. Hopefully, we can get back to that, maybe." Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have any regrets. It was fun. It was interesting. And the employees down there were the best. I think anyone that ever had the chance to go and meet the employees down there have a lot of nice things to say about them. I've never heard anything negative about any employee down there. So that's a good thing.
Well, all right. So with that, we can wrap this up unless you want to say something else.
I don't think
Well,
I don't think so. I wouldn't thank you.
and we want to thank you for sharing your story with us. And this is the giraffe with Ralph signing out.
All right.